Welcome in, everybody, to episode 91 of JD's Empire Sports Talk, along with Jake Biggie Mills. Once again, we got Biggie with the Flyers, the Flyers hoodie on. But we have a lot to get to tonight. A champion was crowned last night, which I know Biggie is very happy about. But first and foremost, Biggie, how are we before we continue?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Very happy after last night.
Yeah, I mean, something that if people all of our viewers don't know, I know some of them do, but Biggie is a big supporter of Indiana, especially, of course, what they've done the last 2 years, because his team could be that team one day. I know I like to,
all of you do. Not just you, it's everyone.
No, but you never know. This is what the beauty of now the new age of college football, which I know that some people don't like just because guys transfer in and out and all that stuff. But the beauty of college football now is that the fact that anybody can actually win a national championship. It's not the same 2-3 teams every single year, like, that we kind of had when we were in like our middle school, late elementary school to middle school days, when we were like Alabama, Clemson every single year. That's not really going to happen anymore. I mean, we see it last year. It's not.
It's the power of the transfer portal.
Exactly. And if your school has, people that can donate and do a lot, yes, it's going to be beneficial to you. So let's start it off. Last night, Indiana Hoosiers complete their undefeated season by going 16-0. 16-0 has only happened one other time before this year, which was Yale back in like 1940 or something like that, which is crazy. But if you think about it, before this new format of the CFP, they didn't play 16 games in the season. So there's been other undefeated teams along the way, just didn't play this many games, which for Indiana, that's a huge accomplishment. You literally almost played an NFL schedule or the old NFL regular season schedule and didn't lose a game. That's an accomplishment in itself. They won a lot of, they won. Biggie, let's start with this. The fact that they were battle tested, we look at a game like Penn State, the way they won that Penn State game, I think that was they were already, undefeated up until that point, but that could have been the game when you look back at this whole season, magical season, years down the road, be like, oh, if they didn't win that Penn State game, they don't even get this far. That's the type of game that was. And, it wasn't the Penn State, usually every year Penn State's pretty good. We know that. But this year they weren't. But the fact that Indiana got battle tested in that game, and that was it. They ran along the rest of the year and dominated up until this game last night. So first, I want you to take me through how much Cignetti means to the program and like how much, Cignetti's been a coach for a while now. We understand that. But the fact that he's become high profile very quickly. Have you seen any other coach get so high profile so quickly? Because me personally, I've been trying to think about this all day.
No,
I don't remember a coach that's been has rose up so quickly that everyone loves him, everyone knows him now. So
it's like I've never seen a coach turn around a program this quickly. We've seen good coaches grow, like obviously Saban when he went to Bama. I mean, he had a stint at LSU too, but like Saban to Bama, Kirby Smart, Georgia, Dabo Swinney at Clemson. But never have we seen something like this. Short amount of time, and for turning one of the most losingest programs in all of FBS into a national championship.
Within it was second year.
Yeah, I know they were 3-9 in Cignetti's the year before Cignetti got hired. I mean, that's just you don't see that at all. And Ego just made a very nice comment. I agree. I think
possible.
It's gonna it boosts everything, and then when you have donors like they do, that helps NIL money and stuff. But they're going to be just as good next year. I think. I don't know if they're going to win it again, but they'll be pretty good next year, and
they'll be in the conversation for sure.
They're going to be in the conversation for a while, I think, and it's just the fact that they're going to boost their recruiting. A lot of guys are going to want to play for Curt Cignetti and all that good stuff, and it's just it's amazing. It's something we've never seen before.
Yeah, and I was looking today the fact that Indiana. So I was this whole year I was like, Indiana, good story. I just don't know if they can do it. Obviously they did it. And I was just looking through now, his first year he brought in 31 transfers, which, flipped the entire team. And some of those guys were on last night's team. Some of those guys were in attendance watching them, which is pretty cool. They were a part of the turnaround last year, which led to this. And now Cignetti is not relying on the transfer portal. He's getting recruits, which that's a whole nother game. He wasn't able to get those recruits right away just because, if you're a kid in high school, you're very talented. You don't want to go to the team that, loses all the time, and you have the opportunity to go to the team that wins all the time. So Cignetti had to go into Indiana like he's done in other places. So it's not like he's never done this before. It's just that
everywhere he's gone, he's won.
He's won. Yeah, he's won. He's literally, he said, Google me and all that stuff. But he hasn't done it to this extent and this level, obviously, by winning a national championship.
I mean, like I just said, this has never happened before. Like a program like Indiana getting turned around this quickly, and literally, they were one of the losingest programs in all of FBS. And I made this comparison last day, and I'm going to make it again because it likes to get our crowd riled up. Clearly, as you can see. Imagine, so you know how bad Syracuse has been the last 20 years, probably since 2004, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Since Pascaloni's been fired. They've had some good seasons here and there, but they've only had, they average about 4 to 5 wins a season, maybe 3, right, since then. So imagine that 20-year span, your whole time being a program. Like, imagine that being every year, not being any, not having any seasons like that ever, like not having a run where you're good for a decade or good for 5 years. Like they were never that team. It's insane. And to have it be done in 2 years is incredible.
It really is. So that was the next point. Credit to Miami. I know we haven't touched upon them just yet.
Yeah.
But credit to them, team that got in literally the last seed of the last day of the rankings, get in, and they go on they had to face, probably one of the tougher tests out of any of the teams like I can think of in the CFP era was the fact they had to go to Texas A&M, which tough environment. They were able to come away with that. Me and Biggie were watching that game together a few weeks back. Then they play Ohio State. Ohio State was considered to be the team that will probably repeat. They'll probably win it all. The only loss
they were the favorite. They were the favorite.
They were. Miami beats them. Then Miami beats the team that has been the flashiest of the CFP, lose their coach. They're so flashy. They can do everything. Yeah. Miami beats them. So, damn, okay, Miami's here. And up until literally the last minute and 40 seconds of last night's game, they had the ball in their hands with the opportunity to be a national champion. So credit to Miami. I know people may comment at me because I've gotten it in a lot of the reels lately when I post anything relating Notre Dame. Oh, you're just still upset about Miami. Miami
well.
I never said Miami. I never said Miami shouldn't be in. My friend was with Alabama, but people don't. They have selective hearing. They only want to hear what they think I said that.
Right? I'm just messing with you.
Exactly. They will only hear what they want to hear, whatever. But credit to Miami though. They were able to overcome a lot this year. They lost 2 games that they look back on. They probably shouldn't have lost the way they go nowadays with the fact they got to the championship. Carson Beck in his 12th year of college football.
He's not even taking classes anymore.
Yeah, that's insane.
He's just playing.
To be fair, I think that the reporter misunderstood his answer. He's not going to be taking classes now because the semester was over, when the season started. So this is a different. I think that the reporter kind of failed to understand that part. Of course, he's not going to be taking classes because he's done. Like he's going to the the draft and all that stuff. So I'm not a huge Carson Beck guy, but I will give him credit for that. For he answered it, fair. He said I'm not in classes anymore because he's not, obviously. And Mendoza is going to be going to the draft. Fernando Mendoza, not his best game last night, but if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, if you're a fan of the Raiders watching, if you're a part of the organization, whatever the case may be, I think that was one of those games last night where he showed that he's tough. Yeah. The stats weren't there. He was getting hit a lot, whatever. He willed his team to win and a great leader, no matter what the situation. I mean, the guy had a bloody lip and it didn't faze him.
Did you see his arm after the game?
Yeah, Biggie. He got beat up.
And here's the crazy part about that. And this is, I'm a huge Fernando Mendoza guy, but a lot of people this is a general, everyone can agree on this. That's not his play style. For him to go have a touchdown run right that,
it's not.
No, that's not him. Like he's a passing guy. He's not a runner at all. I think one of his teammates said he runs like a baby deer. You ever see that clip?
Yeah. He that was a gutsy move because they call a timeout. They look like they're gonna kick the field goal, whatever the case was, and then they just go for it and he takes it in his own hands and runs into the end zone. And that was after what he went through that entire game, which was, they were
going after him. Miami. I'm not discrediting Miami, but they're a dirty team. They are. That's just how they play.
Always
been. I just know from being an ACC fan, they're a dirty team. and they were clearly trying to get to Mendoza,
especially in that first hit he took. It was like right into the chin, and they cut his lip open. That was like, I was like, man, he took a mean one, but it didn't affect him.
It didn't matter at all.
He just kept going forward.
But it was great. Of a true leader, right there.
He is, and he will. I mean, if he's not the first pick, I know I've been hearing. We'll get to the NFL in a little bit, but I know I've been hearing things that the Raiders potentially trading the first pick for a veteran quarterback. If they do that, then they do that. But if they don't draft him and they they do something else, that would be absolutely crazy. But all being said, the Raiders should be taking Fernando Mendoza in April, so a couple of months away. So we'll see him at the combine, in a few. I think it's a few weeks, right? February's combine usually.
Yeah, I want to say so. Yeah,
something like that. So we'll see him in a few weeks doing that. I'm sure we'll be hearing reports of what he's like in the meeting rooms. He knows. You can tell he knows how to answer questions. He knows the right things to say at the right time. Yes, and he even went out and actually partied with the team, which I didn't expect.
That's not like that too. It's a special occasion.
Yeah, special occasion, I guess, right? When you're winning the national championship. But let's stay with college for a few other things, and then we'll go to the NFL, which the NFL is, of course, lighting off fireworks every single day like they usually do. Alberto Mendoza, so the brother of Fernando, right after they win the championship, he's gone. He's going to Georgia Tech. Not sure, Biggie, you know more than me in terms of Georgia Tech as a whole. But do you think that he's going to start there, or do you think it's just him leaving? I forget that quarterback.
I think he has a shot at being the starter. I think so, because I don't know if they're getting their quarterback's gone, right?
That's why Haynes is it King or something like that. King.
Yeah, right? Haynes King, I think is done.
Yeah, I don't know if he's there anymore. That's why I was asking you because I wasn't quite sure.
I don't think he's there anymore. So I think that he probably will be. Let me tell you, Georgia Tech is one of those teams that's going to be sneaky in the ACC. I mean, they are every year, but they're going to be pretty sneaky in the ACC. Or the ACC, I want to talk about it before we move on to the NFL. The ACC is on the rise, dude. Do you see some of the teams in that conference are going to be really good this upcoming year? Yo, what up? What up? What up? But yeah, the ACC is going to be dangerous this upcoming year. I mean, obviously, Miami is going to be thank God, EJ, good thing we don't play them. We don't play Georgia Tech this year. But anyway, the ACC is going to be good. Obviously, you have Miami coming back. They're not going to have, a couple of their guys, but they're still dangerous, I think. Georgia Tech's always a dark horse. Louisville's always a dark horse. UVA. And then obviously Virginia Tech's probably going to be a lot improved this season. They're Penn State 2.0, and they have James Franklin. Pitt's usually competitive. Yes, EJ, I'm talking good about Pitt. You're welcome. Pitt's actually going to be, they have their moments. They're really good sometimes. Florida State, they're too unpredictable. I think Clemson's on the decline. Duke is going to be pretty good this upcoming year, I think. Syracuse, I think if Angeli stays healthy, they will win 7 games, I think. No, not 0. That's unreal. That's unrealistic completely. I just want to make that comment about the ACC. I think it's going to be a way different year for the ACC upcoming. It's going to be good.
And one of the quarterbacks has been in the news. That's why I wanted to bring it up to you.
That was a good trade. You see what I did there?
Yeah, perfect. That's I was like, he knows what I'm going to next. Sometimes we just wing it, but in this case, we're not. Darian Mensah, who's with Duke, he's a guy that was supposed to go in the draft. He didn't. He decided that he wanted to still play. Obviously, he has another year and whatever, but he wants to leave Duke. And then in the middle of that, Duke's trying to sue him and stopping him from transferring, which is crazy. So we'll see. But I was on I shout out to 24/7 Sports, which is usually really accurate with the transfers.
They're really good.
I looked at they put like crystal ball where Mensah would go, and it was Miami. So he would still stay in the ACC. So that would just
right. Yeah.
It wouldn't affect really things like you were just saying.
Not at all.
Maybe Duke wouldn't be as good as they could be with him, but Miami would be really, really good once again. And I don't know if they have any other quarterbacks like that are available there. Whatever the case is, I think their backup. I think I saw their backup from last night. He's gone. He's in the portal. So I guess they're gonna try to figure some things out with that. But Miami will probably be good again. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, they're probably. And I think they actually might have a shot to win the ACC next year, to actually get into that game. But it was just those 2 losses they had to SMU and My
In
God,
Louisville. It was
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Louisville had a really good midseason, and then obviously SMU's been competitive since they joined the ACC. I tell you what, they've been impressive. They made the college football playoff in their first year in the conference.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, first year in the conference, right? Yeah.
They played Penn State, if I remember.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? Yep. Yeah. So listen, I know we always talk smack on the ACC, but Miami going this far kind of quieted that a little bit, and then you're seeing some other things come together with some teams that maybe haven't been that good, like a Virginia Tech, who has a little shot in the arm with Penn State commits going there with James Franklin, like you said, possibly Duke being good. Pitt is usually there.
They have their problem is they can't consistently play well. They're really good through the middle of the year, and then they just when it counts, when they actually can muster up enough wins to maybe play in the ACC championship, they lose. Right?
Yeah, so
it happens every year.
Some potential there. Let's put it that way. There is actual potential. The fact that the ACC is not as bad as we put it out to be. Going into the CFP, what was the headline? Oh, the ACC is terrible.
Right. Well,
your conference was a 5-loss team won the
So
conference.
the SEC won one game throughout the entire bowl and college football playoff.
I know. I mean, listen, the SEC. Very competitive, but the fact that they're not coming up too hot in the postseason games,
they haven't been as of late. They haven't been
Big Ten
overhyped this can be the last two or 3 years.
Definitely, I think I was going to say the Big Ten is taking over.
It is
last 3 years. The national champion has been from the Big Ten. So North football is looking a little better than down south, which I don't think we expected. But the NIL opened that up. Let's say that.
Yes.
Let's go to the NFL, where some hirings have happened since the last time we spoke. John Harbaugh is one of them. I'm actually approximately probably 3 miles away from John Harbaugh, so I hope to see him today, but I didn't. But still, it's official. He's the Giants' head coach, which from listening to him in the press conference, it wasn't just the Giants wanting him. He wanted the Giants, which is always a great thing when both sides can really feel the energy, whatever you want to say. But Harbaugh was very interested in the Giants, and obviously that was the case. He didn't interview with anyone else. It took a couple of days for the contract to come together, but it wasn't. He didn't almost back out. I don't believe that. I think that was just the media trying to stir the pot a little bit.
That too.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think that I think it was more of him wanting to know exactly, because he mentioned that he's reporting directly to the owner, which that doesn't happen with every team. So the structure for the Giants is a little different, just because he's a well-known guy. He's coached for 18 years as head coach, so it's not the any Joe Schmo that maybe like a Brian Dable who's unproven that will have to go to the GM and then we go to the the owner if you want to talk things out. Now it's a little different for John Harbaugh, so he's with the Giants. Robert Saleh back with the back into head coaching duties, and he'll be with the Titans. So I like it. I like it. But the only thing, me and Biggie were talking about this last night or early this morning. I forget. Time just passes by at this point. I don't even know what day is what anymore. But we said he can coach a team. His defense is going to be very good. Tennessee's defense has been bad, so he has some things to work on there. But if he gets Mike McDaniel would be perfect. If he doesn't get a head coaching opportunity, bring Mike McDaniel to Tennessee, and I think they're going to be just fine. That's a division that's winnable every single year. You look at it, the Texans are they're good, but they're not scary.
Right.
Colts, you don't know what the Colts are. Jacksonville had a great year this year. I love the Salah Liam Cohen beef that's going to come twice a year. That's going to be very fun to watch.
Yes.
What we've seen this year in that game, Liam Cohen looked like he wanted to throw hands with him. So that's going to be very fun to see. And yes, I agree. It will be the Jets 2.0. It'll be a great defense with a bad offense if he doesn't get the hire right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I just don't understand. If you're the Titans, it's all going to depend on who he hires as his OC. But why hire a defensive-minded coach when you have Cam Ward? I just don't understand that. I just don't. I mean, obviously, Robert Saleh, I think he's a great coach. I do. But I just don't think he's a fit for that team. I just don't think they're going to improve much at all, to be honest with you. And I could be surprised. I could be. But I just don't see them improving that much at all.
I think they're actually, I understand, obviously, he's a defensive-minded guy. But I think that, which is, being a Jets fan, I feel his leadership qualities are there. I think that's what maybe the Titans looked for a little more. I know everyone gives him, oh, he was terrible with the Jets, but listen, look what
I think that was other factors. That was other factors.
It was a
besides
lot of other things.
Yeah.
He wasn't even hired by the current acting owner. It was his brother who hired him. So he was never, he was never a fan of the owner. Like the owner was never a fan of him in the first place. So any little thing that can get him out, which exactly what happened. That's, getting fired mid-season. That's what's going to happen to you when,
and him and Rodgers just didn't gel well together at all.
No.
I know it's long gone, but in that situation, I would have just rolled with it and moved on from Rodgers and tried to build something around Saleh.
Yeah, we can discuss that for days, but the fact Saleh comes in the first year, it was bad, but it looked like okay, this guy can get these guys moving in the right direction, which is exactly what he did the next year. They were started out 7-4. I know they had a collapse, but it is what it is. And then the Rodgers first year with when Rodgers came here, I really wanted to see that team really go for it, and obviously he got hurt, so that kind of hurt that whole situation. So there was a lot of things that went wrong for him, but he got them respectable. That's what I told you earlier today. He actually had the Jets at a point where Aaron Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, wanted to play for you, and it was because of him. It was literally because of him. Because the Jets played the Packers in Green Bay the year before. Jets, they kicked their butts that night. I remember that game. It was like 27-10 or something like that. And Rodgers was like, oh, I like what the Jets are doing over there. And I think all Jet fans were like, oh, okay, I think something's going to happen here. And that was because of what the culture that he was building. Obviously, years have passed. And I think anybody that is involved with the Jets gets a free pass for the next opportunity. So that's why, he's a head coach right away. And yes, Ego, he is a clown. Worst owner in professional sports. I don't know who else we can throw up there. I know there's a few that I have in mind, but he is the worst owner in sports as a whole. Then Miami. So Miami last week, they hired assistant GM from Green Bay. So that kind of had the writing on the wall in the sense of Jeff Hafley perhaps getting the job, and that's exactly what happened. I do not like this one at all. I don't know. How they made a stupid one. I don't know. I'm not.
With how many names were out there, I think that was a bad move.
No,
it kind of gives me Aaron Glenn vibes.
Yeah, you're right. You were right.
Him and Aaron Glenn. It really is.
Yeah, I was happy. I was like, okay, at least we have another could be incompetent coach like ours. But man,
in division too.
In the division, exactly. But I was like, I mean, he coached at Boston College, right? Did he? I mean,
yes, yeah,
yeah, and he left Boston College to go to the NFL because he wanted to be he didn't even want to be a head coach anymore, which is kind of funny.
I wouldn't want to be at Boston College either, to be honest with you.
No, he went 20, 22, and 26 in 3 years. So not even an over 500 college football coach, and he gets an NFL head coaching job, which is hilarious. Yeah, he's going to be the guy that kind of suffers through that's what I think. I think Miami's going to go on a massive rebuild, and he's going to be the guy that kind of eats it for a little bit because they need it. They need a rebuild. But that's
a huge rebuild. Like they need one bad. They need it more than some of these other teams do, I think.
I agree. And there's teams that, I feel they don't need it as much as they do, and they'll still rebuild. But I like how you just said it. There's so many other guys out there, and you don't even do it. Like at that point, you're hiring this guy. You might as well just keep McDaniel. He can keep you guys mediocre like him. Well, listen, Hafley can prove us all wrong or whatever. But I just
we can be proven wrong, but you never know. I mean, they said the same thing about. Did you see the video? Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, but you ever see the video about the Ravens when they first hired John Harbaugh because he was like the Eagles pass game coordinator or something? They're all like, yeah, they were like, all like upset, like, oh, he's not even a coordinator. Oh, we're gonna suck. This was an awful move.
Yeah,
you really never know.
That's the beauty of football. It's either a quarterback or a head coach that hasn't, proven anything yet. That could be something. But I think our gut feeling right now is we both agree that Hafley doesn't look like he's going to really pan out to be anything. Staying in the AFC, Sean McDermott has been fired. Which, listen, that's a tough one, man. He's been 98-50 in the regular season or a total record. One of those 98-50. He's literally won twice as many games as he has lost. I know, he's out of a job, which is it's crazy. I know. They're trying to get over the hump and they're not able to. But Biggie, when you have success like that, Come on, you can't let a guy. There's who else is out there right now that's going to rep that could is just as good as him.
Yeah, that's the only problem with it because I agree that maybe it should have happened just because I feel like the Bills, they need to get over the hump. I mean, look at the Ravens and the Steelers. They were, those two, like Harbaugh and Tomlin, like those are guys that have been there tenured guys for a while. I mean, especially Tomlin. I don't think Tomlin stepped down on his own terms. I think he was kind of forced out. I think so. And I think EJ will agree with me. He's watching our show right now. But I think this definitely could have happened, but again, who are they going to hire? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it obviously gets stale. Maybe you do need a rebuild, but the only issue is who are you going to hire? I don't know if it's like how legitimate it is, but maybe Brian Dable.
I seen that too. That would be crazy.
I don't know how that would work out, but he knows their offense. In a sense, he's been with the Bills before. If he doesn't take the Eagles OC job, which he's actually one of the front runners for it right now,
I've seen that.
I think
the Jalen Hurts connection. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I saw that possibly them looking at Dable, which I don't know. Maybe it would work. I don't know.
I mean, it could obviously, but listen, we've talked about Dable at length on this show numerous times, especially when he first got fired. Can run an offense, but he cannot, command the whole room. Maybe if he goes to Buffalo, where he's familiar with a lot of the personnel, a lot of the, front office, a lot of that stuff, that kind of gets eased up a little bit because he doesn't have to, put an impression out there for these guys. Right. They kind of know him already, which I think would help him a little bit. But I mean, listen, you go from Sean McDermott to Brian Dable. I don't know if that's going to translate to postseason success.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
We'll see. It's kind of similar. I'll get to the Knicks in a little bit, but it's kind of what the Knicks did, literally what the Knicks did, and it's not looking too great for them right now. But it's all to be seen. We'll see what the Bills do. But they're a coveted spot. I just don't know who they're going to get that they think can be better than McDermott. You never know. Maybe it's a guy that's never coached before that has a higher ceiling. You don't know that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
and then
the beauty of football.
Exactly. And then the last one that I actually really like this one a lot. Kevin Stefanski's going to the Falcons. We kind of predicted this, but Biggie, him getting the opportunity to have all those tools on offense and retaining Jeff Ulbrich, who had a top 5 defense last year, I think it's a very good recipe for success. I mean, what if we talked about with the Falcons? Their personnel is not used correctly. They don't do this right. They don't do that right. Stefanski knows how to run an offense, and he has his DC there already in place. Can Atlanta actually win the division and do something with themselves? Because they're always so close, but they just do things to screw up, and they just mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Browns haven't been anything to write home about the last year or two, but I mean, he won Coach of the Year. He got Cleveland to be back on for that time period. When he got in there, they turned it all around with him in his first year or two. I mean, it was definitely a great time he had in Cleveland, but I think now he has less of a. And I know it sounds crazy, but I think the Browns are just a cursed franchise. That's just the nature of the Jets. You know what I mean?
And they do stupid things.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So you want to look at that the Falcons really aren't in a sense, and he has a little more to work with than he did in Cleveland because Cleveland he had a good team. He obviously did. He had Baker and I forget who else on offense, but he had a good team in Cleveland. But I just feel like it's a more well put together team in Atlanta and more potential. And even with their last head coach, which I thought was awful, with Raheem Morris, right?
Awful.
He was awful. They still mustered up almost eight wins. They almost made the playoffs.
Yeah, so literally.
Having that team and having that bad of a coach and still being decent, I think that shows a lot. And I think Stefanski's going to go in there and change it around.
Yeah, and what you called? Yeah, Ego. I was literally just about to say that. He tweeted. I want to read his exact tweet from Baker Mayfield's Twitter. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. So he's not too happy. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. So NFC South just got a little spicy. I'm glad Ego brought that up because I got the alert on my phone at the same time. So that's going to be very fun. But I don't think that was a Stefanski thing. I think that was forced from ownership. Oh, you got to get rid of him, and you got to trade. I don't think Stefanski wanted Deshaun Watson with all the all
No.
that comes with that. I don't think he wanted that. I think it was forced to him. And what are you supposed to do? No, I'm not going to coach this guy. There's no one like that. You got very few coaches that actually, fight back and actually defend what they want. Usually, oh, okay, you want that? Okay, I bow to you, master, and they do whatever the owner says. Usually, if you're not a respected coach that's coached for a long time, and you've seen that literally two coaches that have coached for that long didn't really get the respect they should have gotten from their respective teams. So owners kind of always like to show that they're in charge, and especially with a move like that. So Stefanski, listen. He was able to make the playoffs a couple of times with the Browns, coach of the year twice, all those things, working, like you just said, literally one of the most cursed franchises in the history of any franchise that exists.
Any sport, yeah.
And he was able to, do some things with them. So we'll see. But I think it's a much better situation for Stefanski, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. Then some other NFL news. We got Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL. So he's a big piece of that team in the red zone.
Yeah.
So they don't have him for – a matchup that we'll get into, but that's a very big matchup this weekend. And, he's not their number one guy, obviously, because, Kenny Walker is, but Charbonnet is very, very much a part of that offense, and he's out for the year, which is, I don't know if you saw that injury, but that did not look good right away.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, he's not the number one guy, but I still think he plays such a crucial role in their offense that I don't think it's going to impact them that much, but it's going to take a dynamic away in a sense. You know what I mean? It won't take away a full dynamic, but it's going to take a little bit away, I think.
Mm-hmm. And a connection. It's always a connection, man.
Yeah.
Charbonnet had 12 touchdowns this year, 730 yards. So not your typical backup running back. He means much more to them, but he will not be there on Sunday when they play the Los Angeles Rams. Then Travion Diggs released by the Packers. So he was released by the Cowboys week before, I think, the regular season ended. And then the Packers picked him up for the playoffs, and now they have released him as well. So we'll see what exactly happens with him. But that's a fall of grace, man. He was up on the top of the world as a corner, one of the
best.
And now he's going to be bouncing from team to team. Wouldn't be shocked if he lands in New England next year with his brother, and he can maybe Vrabel can help him, right the ship a little bit. We'll see, but that's just a little prediction. It's very possible. Let's do our around the league recap, which gets smaller and smaller by the week, which is a little unfortunate for us because we always look forward to breaking down each game. But Super Bowl's almost here, literally 2.5 weeks away at this point. No. Let's go back to Saturday. So this is a lot to unpack here in this game. A coach was fired. A quarterback is then out for the year in this game. And the team that won is probably not going to win now because of that. But Denver beats Buffalo 33-30 in overtime. This is a back and forth game. Josh Allen just was turning the ball over left and right, and they still almost won this game. The fact that they won this game.
Imagine if he didn't. If he didn't.
Biggie, the play before the play before halftime, he was running and just threw the ball backwards like he was playing like schoolyard football. I was like, what are you doing? That's 3 points. 3 points that cost them the game.
Yeah, and I think the even worse part is the call that they made on that catch right at the end of the game too. They didn't even fully really review it at all. Yep. And if you watched it, his knee was down while he had full possession of the ball. It was a catch. It was, and
I agree.
They should a game like that should not come down to a call like that. I think that's a shame on the refs because that is such a crucial game, and a call like that going that way and like them not even trying to look at it in a freaking divisional round playoff game is ridiculous. That's absurd. Like absolutely absurd.
I know I didn't add this into the notes, but that literally can be like our chalk moment of the week is the fact that the referees are just not consistent, Biggie. I love how you brought that up. They're just not consistent. You can't review we're gonna review this right away, but then something like that is literally deciding a team going to the championship game of their conference. No, that's okay. Let's move on to the next play. We didn't see anything.
We're not even going to review it at all, even though literally if they reviewed it, it would have been a catch. His knee touched the ground while he had full possession of the ball. So that was a catch.
I mean, what is a catch at this point? I remember the thing that came to my mind right away. Chiefs, whoever the Chiefs played last year, I remember Xavier Worthy was like up in the air with the ball was on his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's a catch, and this is not a catch.
Yeah, that wasn't like, come on.
Listen, they made the call, whatever the case is. We're not going to argue. We agree on it, but we're not going to argue back and forth. It's catch, not a catch. The fact that they didn't even review it. Sean McDermott called the timeout to try to get them to review it, and they still, no, we're good. They're like this. No, let's move on.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Next play.
Ridiculous.
We didn't see anything. I can't.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
We ask for, like, be consistent. Consistency is the key. You're not consistent. It's every game. And you can't rely on the refs. But listen, the refs make the calls. You have to rely on them to do things, and they're just not. They also like to make it all about them, which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's just the way that every sports. I'm not just saying football. We see it happen in baseball, basketball, everything. But the other thing here we haven't touched upon yet is the fact that Bo Nix is not going to be available in the championship game, which I know
Jarrett Stidham, baby.
It's not even funny. Jarrett Stidham, who has 4 career NFL starts, was a draft pick of the Patriots, which is a little funny as well. They drafted him when Tom Brady was actually still there, so he's been around the NFL that long. But Bo Nix, second to last play, destroyed one of the most important bones in your ankle, and he is now, he has to get surgery. He's out for the year, so they lose him. We'll get to our predictions later. I know EJ is mentioning that right now about what he thinks is going to happen in the game, but me and Biggie will save that for a little later in the show, of course. Our pick'em, which has gotten a lot closer. Biggie has improved a lot in the standings. But how crushing is that, man? Bo Nix out for the year and this late in the stage, and they got this far. They won a tough game like that, and then just I feel like it takes the wind right out of the sails for them.
It does. It's unfortunate. It really is. I mean, you get yourself into that position, and you lose your starting quarterback. I mean, that's just awful. But hey, Nick Foles did it. Remember,
he did. Nick Foles did do it.
Did you see Nick Foles put out a message to him?
Yeah, a little jab at the Patriots too, which I know Eggo's a Patriots fan, but any little jab at them, I'm in full support of.
Me
course.
too.
But yeah, literally, he was that bad that Cam Newton, who couldn't even throw a football during COVID, had to play. I remember. Yeah. I remember that. So yeah, we'll see. But he also, I think he started. Yeah, exactly. He's not.
Yeah, no, he's not.
But I'm not counting him. I'm not counting them out. Broncos defense is very good. They've been like that every year. I know they let up 30 points to the Bills, but they had 5 turnovers. So the fact that they, did that in a playoff game is crazy. So I'm not counting. And they're home. They're home. Very tough to play in Denver. A lot of question marks in terms of what the offense is going to look like. But they have a chance. We're not saying they're going to win, but they have a chance. Denver definitely has a chance, and nothing, like you just said. Yep, nothing is guaranteed. Playoff game, nothing is guaranteed. You cannot take anyone lightly in the playoffs. Doesn't matter if it's Joe Schmo playing quarterback.
Doesn't matter if he's out there.
Exactly, you got to be ready for it. You got to definitely be ready for it. Then let's go to the second game of Saturday. Seahawks 141-6. I think the writing was on the wall here, Biggie, when the fact that the first play of the game was a touchdown off a kickoff return. I think we're like, okay, I think we know how this game's going to go, right?
Yeah, and I knew that the Seahawks were very good, obviously.
Coming off rest. They had rest.
Coming off rest. I mean, that's the crazy part. Against the really banged up 49ers team. It really banged up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Extremely banged up. Props to them for getting this far. I think we can say that.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin Patullo.
Kevin Patullo. Thankfully, he is no longer employed. So I
agree.
Biggie was very upset with him all year. We talked about that last week. But no longer employed by the Eagles makes Biggie, look at him. He's smiling or just thinking of it.
Yeah,
he's smiling just. He's smiling just thinking of him no longer calling plays for the Eagles. Yeah. But the Seahawks are a juggernaut, man. They do everything correctly. Mike McDonald in his second year, very, very good coach. You can see it. He learned from both Jim and John Harbaugh along the way. So he learned from obviously 2 very talented coaches. So he's got the recipe for success, and he's got his listen. We know I'm not comparing the Seahawks team to those ones Legion of Boom days. But the defense plays very good. The defense it's obviously not. but the defense is very competitive. They play lights out. They have a mix of young and old, which is always a good thing. I think the best is having veteran free agents sign with a team that has full of draft picks and mesh it together on defense.
I agree.
I think it's a great recipe for success.
Yeah.
And look at them. Exactly. Look at them. They do everything right. They have a pass rush, their secondary is insane, man. They could throw literally anyone out there, and it does not matter.
I agree.
Guys off the bench that don't even play. I think they rotate corners still. They do a lot of things well. And listen, I hate to admit it, but Seattle, I think, has the best chance of winning the Super Bowl right now. That's why
I think so. Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to spoil picks, but I think they have the best chance at winning. But I'm not going to say exactly, who I'm picking just yet. Then let's go to Sunday. So we go to Sunday where the game is a bunch of, snow, rain, whatever in New England. Patriots win that one 28-16. I know someone mentioned it. I think it was someone on ESPN. I try not to watch ESPN very much, but if I do, someone said about how if 31 out of 32 quarterbacks besides CJ Stroud played against the Patriots, the Texans would have won. And I agree. The fact that CJ Stroud was that bad and they actually had a chance in that game until the end just shows how good Houston's defense is. And CJ Stroud, man, I would not be shocked if he he'll be with them next year. Yes, Ego, Dan Orlovsky, thank you. How can I forget? Yeah, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's smart.
He's okay. He's okay.
I think that he can actually be actually a good OC if he's given the opportunity. But that's a debate for another day. But going back to my point, CJ Stroud, next year is a very important year for him. I think he can very much be in trouble if he does not start out good because Davis, I'm not saying Davis Mills is the answer, but he actually showed he went 3-0. He went 3-0 when he Biggie's cousin, if anyone's wondering. He went 3-0. He went 3-0 in his starts this year, which literally turned their season around when CJ Stroud had a concussion that I think got extended a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not. I don't know. It's possible. It's literally possible. I don't think he had a game. I know he had rough games, JJ McCarthy, but I don't think he could have been that bad. Yes, Dan Orlovsky is the guy that ran out.
Yeah, he did.
But listen, the player, just because you're not a great player doesn't mean you can't be a good coach. Usually the guys that are mediocre average players, usually the average players are actually good coaches. So we'll see. I'm just throwing it out there. But any thoughts on this game, Biggie? Anything that caught your eye? Whatever the case.
Yeah, I was a little more impressed with the Patriots offense this week. I still don't think they're great, but I like in the playoffs. Like obviously throughout the regular season they were great, but the Patriots offense just hasn't been as great
as they usually have. They did,
yeah, exactly. As they have been. But yeah, I mean I think definitely if CJ Stroud didn't play as bad as he did, probably would have won that game. I mean, Texans defense did get beat up a little bit, but they still look like the Texans defense. It's just they couldn't score to save their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Patriots scored 28, but one of those was a pick six, so you take that away, 21 points. They had to deal with short fields left and right.
Yeah,
Stroud had what? 4 picks. They had 5 turnovers total. So when you turn the ball over like
that was a game of turnovers, man. There were 8 turnovers in the first, like in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I know the weather was a big part of that, but he just looked lost. Throughout the entire game. Then let's go to Sunday night, which is probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. Rams beat the Bears 20-17. I don't know if this reminded you of the game last year, Biggie, of when the Rams played the Eagles in the snow and everything like that. It reminded me very much of that, except the fact that Saquon Barkley wasn't on the Bears to take over and win that game. Right, that was the only difference to me, because the game went the same way. Rams did score a little more last year, but the Rams find a way once again. And I'm on the Rams too. I really like the Rams. I know someone mentioned in the comments, I forget, Patriots are very good. They think that Patriots have the best chance at winning it all. I actually think whoever wins the NFC is the best chance of winning it all. I think they're more of a complete team than whoever comes out of the AFC, especially a compromised Broncos team and a Patriots team that's, they're good. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not a hater of the Patriots. Well, I don't like them, but I'm not going to be a hater in terms of putting them down and saying they're not going to be able to do it. Yeah. But I just feel the NFC teams are much more complete. They have in terms of Stafford, I think is obviously, he should be the MVP this year. People may argue with me on that. You can.
Yeah, I think the way that Drake May and him have played in the playoffs, I would definitely say that Stafford's the MVP. Just
and you don't even the playoffs don't even count towards it though, so it doesn't even matter. Literally doesn't matter with the playoffs. But like exactly, I agree. Stafford, yes. Listen, Stafford hasn't looked good in the playoffs either, but he can turn it on at any time. We know that. We know he's been there. He's done it. That's the difference, I think, to me. I think that if the Rams played the Patriots, Biggie, I actually was thinking about this since the Bills lost. I'm kind of jumping around right now, but the debate we wasted 20 minutes on last week against with the Bills, who they should play, doesn't even matter. So we just wasted 20 minutes of our lives. It does not even matter.
Well, yeah, none of us thought that they'd lose that game. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. But what I wanted to go back to here, I'm sorry, everyone, I'm just jumping around, but football makes me excited. Football makes me very excited. Everyone knows that. The fact that what was I saying? If the Patriots play the Rams, I think that the fact that Stafford has been there, done it before, gives them a little bit of an edge over the Patriots. I'm just saying that. I just feel they're more a complete team because they have the experience and all that good stuff. And the Rams defense, very underrated. You talked about them throughout the entire year. You were like, the Rams defense, very good, very underrated, very young. So I think they had that all going for them. And I think Stafford and Devontae Adams haven't been on the same page like they were. That can come. And remember, the Seahawks versus Rams game was probably the best game of the regular season last time they played. 38-37, Seahawks won on like that walk-off, 2-point conversion. So I'm sure that game will be great anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I just think that the winner of the NFC has a better chance than, let's put it this way, the Patriots, because I don't know what the Broncos are going to look like. But, yeah, so Sunday we will have 3 o'clock, the Patriots at Broncos, and then the Rams versus Seahawks to end the night. So, listen, we got 3 games left of the NFL season. Let's enjoy it.
Take it all in.
Exactly. Take it all in. Hopefully we get 2 very competitive games. I'm not going to talk much about betting, but because I can't just yet. But the Patriots are a 5-point favorite in that game, and the Seahawks are a 2.5-point favorite in that one. So the Seahawks are literally just getting that little advantage in the sense of them being home, and the Patriots are heavily favored. I mean, I know it's only 5, but usually the home team gets like 3 points or so. So regardless, that's a big thing. But yeah, the 2 highly anticipated games, winner of those goes to the Super Bowl. So we'll be talking about that. When the 2 weeks we have to talk about the Super Bowl, which is very fun.
The week in between.
It is. It's very, very fun. Fun and exciting. But let's go to the MLB where we actually have a little bit more news. Kyle Tucker is signed with the Dodgers. I know I had a little bit of a rant or whatever about this, and I've been going back and forth on the. If anyone's watching that's been commenting or trolling me, I love it, actually. The fact that everyone says, the funny part about this is, Biggie, everyone thinks I'm a Yankees fan. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where the hell that
Mets guy, dude.
Exactly. I don't know where the hell that came from, but everyone on TikTok thinks all of a sudden I'm a Yankees fan. I was born in the and Biggie, you know this. I was born in the 1990s, according to these people too. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was that old either. I didn't know I was born in the 1990s, and I wasn't complaining.
Talk about something so I can go look at this on TikTok.
Yeah, it's with the Kyle Tucker video. You should go.
I'll
go check that one out later on. Yeah, it's Dodger fans trolling me, and then I got people telling me that I wasn't complaining about the Yankees when they signed.
Oh my god! Yeah,
in the 1990s.
We get scuba. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, if anyone wants to, help me out in the comments, kind of go back at those guys. If anyone's a Dodgers hater, please. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
In the late 90s.
Yeah, literally. I don't know where this is coming from. I would never root for the Yankees ever in my life. The pinstripes, I would rather puke in a toilet than wear a pinstripe jersey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's people here with thinking you're a Yankee guy.
I'm not sure why that's the case right now. But my Mets actually
the Empire of Sports and your color scheme is white and blue, so it makes sense.
I guess, but it's it's not always good to assume. That doesn't always work out. And if anyone's actually watched my other videos, I've always talked about the Mets. I don't really talk about the Yankees. That's why we have CT. CT's the Yankees guy, and you are too. So.
CT's a little more into baseball than I am, but we're both Yankee guys.
But literally, we have CT on the show, so people don't think I'm biased. And only talk about the Mets. So this is what the people do, man. They just I don't know exactly. Yeah. I never really told this story to many people, but I wore number 5 my whole baseball career up until high school because of David Wright. So yeah, I am definitely a Yankees fan. If I wore my number 5 because of David Wright, that's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, EJ, you can find them in the comments. The Kyle Tucker video is hilarious. They just
Go to.
I think I was born in the 1990s and I'm a Yankees fan. Obviously hate the Dodgers because I do, but
I think we all do.
It's so stupid. Some other news we got: Bo Bichette signs a 3-year deal with the Mets. 3 years, $126 million. This is a shock to Met fans, baseball people in general. Yes, like you just said, everyone. The Mets jumped in there. They lose Kyle Tucker the night before. Wake up the next day. We were up for a little bit. It was into the afternoon a little bit. And Bo Bichette, new third baseman of the New York Mets. Very excited. I have always been a big Bo Bichette guy. Just the way he plays, his style, his attitude. He's gritty. I was talking about. I don't know if Ryan is in the chat or not, but we were talking about having guys that actually know how to play baseball, like smart IQ, like we call them professional baseball players. Bo Bichette, one of them, one of the best at it. Actually, I think he's very underrated. I don't think people give him enough credit.
Jersey from the Blue Jays. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, you told me that. You do. Bo Bichette. Yep, number 11. He wears those, the pants up with the socks, which I used to do.
I'm a big Bichette guy. I also just like the Blue Jays jerseys, but I'm a Bo Bichette guy too.
But he's a great guy to support. So
100%, right? Yeah, it was either him or Vladdy, and I'd much rather wear Bo Bichette. Yeah, as a Yankees fan, I'm not a Vladdy guy.
Really? That's a hot take.
No, it's just because it's the Blue Jays, and they're going to be.
I get it. That is a hot take, though.
No, I don't mind him. And just it's the Blue Jays right now that I mind because they're actually a threat now.
Yeah, you gotta keep tabs on them when they're actually important, right?
Right.
Because it's usually the case. If you were, if they weren't so good, you wouldn't even care about them at all. But
it's like the Rays anymore.
Yeah, the Rays. The Rays are just exist. It's funny. They just exist. But I could talk about the Mets now just a little bit, and then later in the week I do want to do an episode if they get. I know someone mentioned it before. I think it was Ryan actually. Cody Bellinger perhaps signing tonight. So the Mets are in on Bellinger, and you look at their lineup right now. They're missing one more bat, and I think that the lineup is actually a little underrated. The fact that you have your Lindor, you have your Soto at the top of the order, you have Bichette now, you get a Bellinger that's a really good top 4, a little bit of both, righty and lefty bats there to mix it up a little bit. You have a Marcus Semien and Jorge Polanco who are veterans that they're not really up at the top of their game anymore, but they can play well enough. You got Francisco Alvarez. If he doesn't break his hand every single season, he can actually hit. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I would think he's had hand surgery 3 years in a row. So hopefully there's no more bones to even break at this point in his hand. So that would be good. But if he actually, he can play. We've seen at the end of the year. He came back up from the minors. He actually hit really well. And then Carson Bench expected to be on the opening day roster, which I'm very excited for him, man. He fast. He can play the outfield pretty well. He can hit a little bit, which is going to be fun. And you put him at the bottom of the lineup, no pressure on him, which I think sometimes we've seen it. I know with the pitching, I'll get to in a second. I'm kind of going off on a Mets little binge right now, but we're on baseball, so I met as well. But the Mets rushed their pitchers up a little bit last year, and it kind of hurt a few of them. I think they need a little more developing. Carson Bench was not a guy that was called up when they kind of needed some help there. So that's big. So that's big that he got enough reps in the minors. Hopefully he has a good spring training. And if he doesn't, I wouldn't put him up just yet. Let him play a little more AAA ball, and then you bring him up when he's ready. But I think he's ready. Yeah, exactly, with Syracuse. Yep, he's enjoy some more time up in upstate New York, and then you come to city, Queens, and enjoy yourself. And
I want to talk about Bo Bichette a little bit more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was actually with a Phillies fan on Friday when that happened. Shout out Andrew Marshall. He's basically my right-hand man here at Wilkes. We do a lot of stuff together on the radio, TV, sports like stuff. And we literally talked about it on our radio show. Also, if you guys don't, every Friday, 11 to 12, Stat Swarm, 90.7 WCLH. We have a stream online, beta.wclh. Look it up.
Give it a listen. Give it a listen.
Fridays.
When you have a chance, drop that in the comments.
I will. Yeah. So, Yeah, Bo Bichette. When that news dropped, I was with him, and he's a big Phillies, like a huge Phillies fan, and he was just in such disbelief because we were one of the front runners to get him. And my first thought was, where is he going to play for the Mets? And I guess that question's kind of been answered in a sense. But I'm kind of surprised he went to the Mets. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to go to the Phillies, but yeah, I was just confused on where he was going to play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll play third, which he's never done before. But
yeah, that's what we were saying. Like he's probably going to end up having to play third.
Yeah, that was the only position that makes sense, just because Simeon is not going to play anywhere else in second because he's a Gold Glove second baseman. But yeah, he'll play third. He's never done it before. I mean, he wasn't the greatest at shortstop, but sometimes when you're not, when you're an average defender at short, you actually become a really good defender at third. We've seen it happen with, A-Rod when that was obviously years back, but Carlos Correa has done it now. A few guys that come to mind that played short and slid over to third. But yeah, that you actually kind of brought me into another point I wanted to talk about with the Mets as well, is the fact that, David Stearns, I don't believe anything he says, but he goes, "Oh, we're not gonna bring Alonso back because of his defense." But you have your guy playing third base, and you have a guy playing first base who have never done it before. And listen, I'm a pitcher.
Yeah, I don't. That was another thing too. I did see that. Like, how are you gonna say that, but then sign a guy that
you're contradicting your own
position that he does not play?
Exactly.
And it's the point of Bo Bichette's career where he is in his prime. I'd say this is prime.
He is definitely.
This is the best years of his career that we're going to see. Why do that to him? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good signing for you guys because the roster actually looks kind of good compared to how they were at the end of everything. Oh my God, I thought the Mets were going to just fall into a pit of despair after Alonso going and Diaz and all those guys. Just all the stuff that happened. You were going off, I remember. And, they built the roster up pretty nicely, I'd say. But again, it's just confusing on, you make a statement about Alonso like that, but then you bring in Bo Bichette and he's going to play a position he's never played before. Like, I don't know. It might not work, but I think hitting's going to be very, very – they're going to be a hitting team this year. I don't know how they're going to play. I don't know how they're going to be fielding in defense. I don't know.
Yeah, defensively is going to be to be seen.
No question marks.
Definitely, but I think the Bichette signing was just to get a guy that can actually hit, because we had
because they need that. They needed that. Yes,
yeah, definitely.
They need a hitting roster. They really do. Juan Soto needs to play like Juan Soto.
Yeah, like he did for the last 3-4 months
of the year there.
Yeah. He turned it on with the Mets last year, but if he can do what he did, for the Yankees throughout the whole year, that would be great as well, which I think he will. I think he's kind of comfortable with the whole situation now. But later in the week, I will do a Mets Knicks. The Knicks I'll get to later, but Mets
whole New York sports team update.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll do a short episode on that. Yeah, definitely. I will do that later in the week. JT Realmuto back with the Phillies, so they lost Bichette. People thought they weren't going to even sign Realmuto back, but they do. A guy that's he's been steady for them, not bad, but he's just getting old and catches literally every single game. So his knees are shot. So we'll see exactly what happens with him when the time comes. But Realmuto back with the Phillies. Ranger Suarez. So the Phillies did lose a pitcher as well. Very good pitcher.
They're pretty sad about the Phillies fans are pretty sad about that.
Yeah,
because Ranger Suarez is really good for them.
Yeah, good guy, good pitcher. I mean, he was dominant.
He was a fan favorite. He was a fan favorite for the Phillies.
Definitely, yeah, he was. He was so good in the postseason. I think his career postseason ERA was like a 1, which is obviously
unheard of. It's impressive.
Literally, it's 30-something innings or whatever it was. I saw it last week. It's incredible. Yes, Ego. Underrated. Very underrated. Crochet and Suarez as your first two, with Bayo, a bunch of the other young guys in there. I hate to say it, but the Red Sox are actually going to be, pretty good.
Yeah, they will be, unfortunately.
No, they don't count. Whatever amount of teams, they don't count. I don't even want to hear them anymore. The Dodgers do not count. We all know. Ego, everyone is playing to either, and if you're in the National League, you're playing to get to the championship series, to lose to them, and then if you're in the American League, you're playing to get to the World Series to be the runner-up. Yeah, exactly. You're not. No one's winning the World Series. The championship has been. Rob Manfred actually went on the plane last week with the World Series trophy and delivered it to the Dodgers. And it says,
Yeah, here you go.
26.
It's yours.
It's already done. It's done. It's over. That's it. If no one wants to watch this year, you don't have to, because you already know, exactly what's going to happen
Right.
in the future. Then some Hall of Fame news. So there's been 2 guys inducted. Andrew Jones, who played for the Braves for 12 years, he will be in the Hall of Fame, of course, as a Brave, because he played with them almost his entire career. I know he played with the Yankees for a little bit and some other teams. And then Carlos Beltran, very excited to see him get the nod, which I think people were a little up in the air about, just because, what happened with him at the end of his career when he, was caught in the middle of that scandal with the with the Astros and stuff like that, but it didn't affect him. I know he was supposed to be the Mets manager. He was the Mets manager for about 40 days before they had to get rid of him because of that whole thing. But I'm glad to see that they didn't take that out on him and let him actually, be recognized for a terrific career. He played for the Mets and the Royals both 7 years, but I think he'll go in as a Met just because of how he played for them and, what they went out and got him and, a trade and all that stuff. And he's actually worked with them within the organization right now. So I would expect him to be in the organization with in the Hall of Fame as a Met, which is going to be very, very fun. But do you guys think if the Pirates have a chance to bring back? No. Listen, who's their manager now? I forget. They always. I'm sorry, but the Pirates don't have any. They don't keep any memory in my brain. Besides when Paul Skeens is pitching. As a fellow pitcher, I love watching someone that just dominates, which is going to be fun. Pirates versus Mets on opening day, so that'll be fun. Skeens and probably Nolan McLean are going to match up against each other. 2 future. Obviously Skeens is an ace already, but McLean should hopefully be up to his level as the year goes on. I agree. I could do the same. NFL, NBA, I kind of know. Oh, Don Kelly, they should just ride it out with him for now. I don't think he's too bad. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Pirates.
Power in their lineup. That's all they need.
Yeah, they just need to actually care about winning baseball games because their pitching staff is very good. So if they actually cared about winning, they would help.
I actually was – I don't know how much it's being discussed, but think about them getting a guy like it probably would have been different if the Phillies signed Bichette. Now that they don't, I don't think it's going to happen. But at the point when, the Phillies were in the running for Bichette, that could have forced Alec Bohm to get traded. Alec Bohm, yeah. Pirates would have been a good landing spot for him, but I think they're going to keep him now because they didn't get Bichette. I think
they probably will. They probably will.
Yeah, and I want to get your opinion on this, just to talk a little baseball, which, I don't do very much, but this is actually a genuine question because I was thinking about it. Do you think the Phillies trying to maintain what they have is a bad idea, or do you think it's what they should do? Because I truly think that they shouldn't. I think they need to make a few more. I think they should have tried to get Bichette more or someone else because I think it's gone stale in Philadelphia. I think it has. And this year is very telling for their manager Thompson. It's going to be very very telling. If they don't win the World Series, I think he's out.
Yeah, remember what I said this what was it 2 weeks ago? Don Mattingly got the bench coaching job. That's not just the ordinary bench coach.
Don Mattingly.
That's what I actually think is going to happen.
I think it is too, because I don't think, and Ego just said they're going to slowly regress and dig a deeper hole. I agree. Yeah. I mean, ever since they had the World Series appearance, they've
gotten worse every year in terms of.
It's gotten worse every year. I think they should have tried to rebuild themselves a little bit, because them maintaining what they have, I don't think was a good move. I think it's going to hurt them. I don't think the Phillies are going to win a World Series within the next year or two, just for that reason, because I think they need to make some changes. Changes need to be made, and they're not. Besides trading Ranger Suarez away, you know what I mean? They've maintained pretty much everyone else, and it looks like they're not going to trade some of the guys that we thought they were going to get trade. Like, they kept Kyle Schwarber. They just signed Muto. Castellanos was another guy that was possibly looking to get traded, but I don't think he will now. Bohm was also another guy if they got Bichette, but that was all dependent on who they got in free agency, and they didn't do it.
Anything.
So they didn't do it. They didn't. And I think, EJ, absolutely. That's why I brought it up, because I think them trying to maintain what they have is a bad idea, and I think it's going to hurt them. I don't think they're going to be. I think they're going to regress even more this year.
Yeah, I love how you brought that up too, because I as an NL East, obviously being a Mets fan, NL East is very much wide open, and I think that the Phillies aren't taking advantage of that. Fact that right now the Mets are not better than what they were last year. I'm being completely honest with you. Right now, I know there's plenty of more time, but the Mets right now, not better than they were last year. The Phillies are not better than they were last year. The Braves are probably, the Braves are good. They just didn't have, they were injured and all that stuff last year. If I had to guess right now, I think the Braves are actually going to win the division, but that's just now.
They have the best shot, I think, right now.
Yeah. I mean, Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler is still pretty good.
Yeah, but that's really it.
Yeah, but Ranger Suarez is a very huge loss, which they have to try to do something to recover from that. And the lineup is still the same. Yeah, the lineup is good, but it's not. We've seen
They've had that same lineup for the last 2 or 3 years.
Now. You're right. He is out. I forgot about that. You're right. Sorry to cut you off.
I forgot about that too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that, man. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
But you've had that team for the last 3 years. You've made the playoffs, great. You made the World Series once, but you haven't won it yet. You act like this team is the best team ever. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I'm not a Phillies fan. I'd say it sounds crazy for me how big of a Flyers and Eagles fan I am. Out of the Philly teams, I don't like the Phillies. I never did. I always honestly, I at one point I hated the Phillies, which is crazy for me being a Philly guy. I hated the Phillies because it's kind of like how probably how you feel as a Met fan being in Yankee territory. You know what I mean? It's me being a Yankee fan in Philly territory. Their fans are annoying. And you could be like, well, you're an Eagles fan. You're a Flyers fan. Yeah, I know. But I just don't understand what it is. I grew up around Phillies fans, and it's why I hate Notre Dame too, because I grew up around Notre Dame fans, and they were just annoying as can be about the team. You know what I mean? And that's how Phillies fans always were. And I just was never a fan of the Phillies. I like them a little more now. I'll root for them in the playoffs if the Yankees are out. I'll root for them just because it's a Philly team. But I've never been a Phillies guy. I never have. I don't mind the Sixers. I'll root for the Sixers, but I was never a Phillies guy. Never. I at one point in my life when I was younger, I used to hate the Phillies. Which is crazy. You're laughing because it's so it's.
I understand.
You hear that enough for how big of a Flyers and Eagles fan I am. I don't hate them as much anymore because after I went to a game there for the first time, I became more of a fan of them. And then when they started kind of, picking it up and made the World Series and were in contention every year, a lot of my buddies, we'd watch the games together because they're all this area is all Phillies fans. Where I'm from, all Phillies fans. The Phillies are huge in this area. So honestly, I think they're bigger than the Eagles are. There's more Phillies fans than Eagles fans around here, I think. Because there's a lot of people that are Steeler fans or Giant fans or other team fans, but they're still Phillies fans. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of people that are Steelers and Phillies fans.
All right. So I'm glad Biggie has confirmed that he doesn't like the Phillies. That makes me happy. And obviously, you're a Yankees guy. Yankees are, they're good. They're a well-run organization.
They're not in a good place right now. They're just
they haven't done anything either.
They just have the history, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, they haven't done too much.
Yeah, no, EJ, I kind of agree with you just because we have the AAA team for the Yankees, but I still think the Phillies rule this area. Everyone around here it's either Yankee. I mean, Yankee fans are everywhere. That's why I'm saying that. You don't see Phillies fans everywhere. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. But yeah, the Yankees are also very popular just because we have the AAA team in the area. We are the, we're the one step away from the Bronx. We're the baby bomb.
Yeah, right there, right? The Rail Riders.
Yep.
Let's go to the NBA where we have a quick couple updates, and then we'll do our standings update as well. But Jimmy Butler tore his ACL last night, out for the rest of the year. So the Warriors, we talked about them be kind of just messing around, being by 500, and then they went on a nice run. They're 25-18 now, and Jimmy Butler out for the year. So I think that kind of hurts the Warriors. I didn't think they were going to go far in the postseason anyway. Yeah, but I think that kind of hinders their postseason run if any were to happen. And I think, listen, I love Curry, but if I were him, I would consider going to a different team if you want to win a championship.
I don't think he's ever going to, though.
I don't think he will. He's very loyal, very loyal.
Golden State. It's just, I don't think he's leaving Golden. He's going to retire a Warrior. I just think that's just the type of player he is. Guys that move around at the end of their career, but I don't think Curry's one of those guys. I'd be surprised if he did, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would be shocked if it were to happen, but he's not going to win another championship with Golden State.
Unless they unless they go crazy next offseason and pick up a bunch of dudes, but I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he would never go to the Kings either. Are you crazy? That's a downgrade. Much very big. Yeah, no, he's great. That's what I'm saying. Ego. He's literally like 38 years old, like you just said, and he's still playing incredible. It's just its supporting cast is not good enough to beat these teams in the West. It's just the way it is. He's not going to be able to, do it himself, obviously. And then perfect segue into the All-Star Game starters. So for the West, you got, of course, Luka Doncic, who's been great. Steph Curry, SGA, Nikola Jokic, who's hurt. So we'll see if he actually even plays in this game, if he's back by then. And, of course, Victor Wembanyama will round out the starting five in the West. And then in the East, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, shout out Cap, Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, who's literally Kate Cunningham, and then Jaylen Brown, who's literally an MVP at the moment, which is crazy. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course. So hopefully he's a future Knick very, very soon. Yeah, no, LeBron has he's played, but he hasn't, good. I'm actually happy he's not starting in this game. He's probably going to whine. If Jokic doesn't start, he'll start. Watch, I can guarantee it. I can guarantee if Jokic isn't healthy to play in that game, LeBron's going to take his place because they cater to everything he wants and everything he does. Right. But, let's do our standings update, which I'll kind of mix in my Knicks talk as well. So if you don't mind today, Biggie, I'll do the East just because it's going to go perfectly into the Knicks, and then you can do the West. But I could start it off with the East here. So Pistons at 31-10. Celtics 26-16. So the new number 2 seed is the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown's playing out of his mind right now. Let's see, he's averaging 30 points a game. 30 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he's been incredible for the Celtics, which is, listen, they're not what we expected. We expected them to be competitive, but not number 2 seed competitive. My New York Knicks 25-18, 2-9 in their last 11 games. All right, let's do it. I've been holding this one back for a few days. You got the Knicks have, they have problems right now. They have serious problems. Something is going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the locker room not adjusting or not willing to adjust to Mike Brown. I don't know if it's the players not getting along. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on there because your season doesn't start out so strong and then you just get to this point. It's the same thing that happened with the Mets last year. Actually reminds me of what's going on with the Mets. And the Mets obviously have turned out they had issues going on in the locker room. So I think first off, the easy target is Karl Anthony Towns. Easiest guy to go after. Very soft. Complains way too much, like a 2-year-old. Like, grow up. At some point, can you grow up and actually defend yourself like a man? Like, when is it going to stop? Every time you fall on the ground, you're looking at the refs and you're whining. Stop. It's just the way it is. It's basketball. You're going to get hit. You're going to fall down. You're going to have to adjust to people doing that. And they do it to you because they know you can't defend yourself. Why do you think Draymond Green was literally tormenting you throughout the entire game? Why do you think Dylan Brooks was doing the same thing to you when you played Phoenix twice in a week? You played Phoenix twice in a week, and you didn't know he was going to do it to you the second time, what he did to you the first time.
There's a reason he did it the second time.
Exactly, because you're weak and you can't defend yourself. You're literally a 7-foot baby.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but teams are going to start going after him now.
Yeah,
he's such an easy target for, not just to point the finger at for the recent failures, but for teams to go after when they play the Knicks. They're going to go after him and try and get in his head and knock him down and stuff.
Yeah, it's too easy. If you can get in his head, and he shouldn't listen. I know I've been hearing. I've watched a lot of listened or watched some radio and stuff like shows today, and guys are trying to defend Karl Anthony Towns in the sense of, listen, that's not the type of guy he is, so he needs his team. You don't need your teammates to defend yourself. If someone's playing that physical with you, shove them back. Do something. Get a technical foul. Fire up the squad. Do something. You just literally take it and you just complain every 2 seconds about it.
Yeah, and he's
something about it, man.
He's arguably a top 2 player on that team talent-wise. So.
He should be our number 2 player, and he's not playing like it. I can go down the line here. Mikal Bridges is very, very inconsistent right now. He's, kind of flying under the radar in the sense of not getting criticized because of Cat facing a ton of heat right now. Like I was saying, I like listening I was so close to calling into one of the shows I watched today, and letting him hear it, but I decided not to. I kind of stayed out of it, but I was really close to doing it just because I think the fact that the Knicks got so far last year, and Tom Thibodeau was let go. Is like, okay, I understand it. Mike Brown, he's a good guy. I agree in the sense. I agree with this almost 100%. The players are big babies, yes, but he also tries to be their best friend. That's the thing. Thibodeau wasn't liked at the end because he told you like it was. If you weren't playing the way he wanted you to, he's going to get in your face and he's going to let you know. And that's just the way the league is now. The guys are soft and they don't want that. But now you look at it now. If Thibodeau was the coach of this team right now, this losing streak would have stopped 5 games ago because he would have stepped in and be like, "You guys aren't playing at the type of caliber. This is a really, really, really good team we got right now, and they're just not playing up to it." I think the big thing to me is just toughness. The toughness is not there. Josh Hart is the only tough guy I think on the team, and he can't do it by himself. He can't just be the only guy that gets in there and forces, it being an enforcer and actually does things. It can't be one guy. That's not Brunson's role. Brunson is a star of the team. He's not going to be the guy that scraps and gets in fights. You never see the best player of teams on an NBA team. Other sport maybe, but an NBA team, you never see the best player getting scraps and actually fight. So that's never going to happen. I don't know what you can do to this team. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you have to wait till the summer to trade for Giannis." No, you trade for Giannis right now. That's what I think you do. This team hit their ceiling, I think, last year. If they make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to get that far. And yeah, you may get to what you did last year. That is far, but will you win? This is a championship. This is a championship, literally a championship appearance or bust.
This is the year for them to do it.
And I think
they do, but not right now.
No, Biggie. We've been talking about this for months, and I think that this team, has a lot of warts. They do have a lot of warts that were high or kind of hid just because the Eastern Conference not that strong this year. The Knicks, they're not the toughest team, but they have a lot of skill. They can overcome it. They can overcome this. They can overcome that. Yeah, when you start out 21-9, you can overcome it. But now when you're 25-18 and you're in the 3rd seed and you're almost we're 1.5 games from the 7th seed. We literally talked about this last week. The Cavs are your 7th seed, can very much go on a run, and I think that you have to do it. You have to break this up now. You cannot waste a year. You can't waste a year and be like, "Oh, we'll wait till the summer to get Giannis." Giannis wants to be a Knick right now. I don't know if Karl Anthony Towns wants to be a Knick. I'm going to be honest with you. Does he really want to play for this team right now? Doesn't seem like it. Even when they win games, attitude is very, very poor. I know. With the show I watch, Alan Hahn, he's very, very insightful in the Knicks. He works for the Knicks. He's a sideline reporter. He does a lot of different roles. And a guy that I've actually watched a lot more when he does his show. And he talked about it. He's within he's in there. He's in the inner circle of the Knicks. And he said that just Towns doesn't look like he, look very happy. I would send him there right now. First flight out to Milwaukee, please. And man, they gotta get it together. They have to get it together. Too talented. You can't let this go to waste. But a fire's got to be lit under them. And I know people are saying, "Oh, the NBA Cup this, the NBA Cup that, all that stuff." But listen, they gotta figure it out. They gotta figure it out quickly. You play tomorrow, actually. So wow, I forgot. Tomorrow night against the Nets, gotta win that game by 15 points. I don't want to hear it. Go in there, take care of business, and you're up by 15 at the end of the game, you make it worse. This is a get-right game. Get right against Brooklyn. You haven't lost to Brooklyn in like 4 years at this point, and we own them every single time we play them. Go and do it now. Go and do it. 15-point win tomorrow, and then you have 2 days off, and then you go into the weekend. All-Star break is almost here. I think you got 8 or 9 games left at this point, maybe a little more. Actually, no, a little more. 10 to 12 games left. You right the ship and you go, but they have to consider the Giannis thing. And I know James Dolan, the owner, is not very happy. He left the game at halftime and didn't come back to his seat yesterday, so I know he's not particularly happy as well. So they got to figure this out very, very quickly. But let me get back to. Yeah, they are. They're soul searching right now. Players only meeting today as well. We'll get to that. Hold on, I just want to get through the Eastern Conference. Don't spoil that one just yet. But yeah, that's true. I just saw that alert. Great hire. I agree. Herbert's going to get maximized even more, but we'll get to that. A little bit of breaking news. We don't have that much on this show, but that's very, very important. But yeah, let's get back to the East where we got the Raptors 25-19 as your 4 seed, 76ers 23-18 as your 5th seed, Magic 23-19 as your 6th seed. Very close, like I was saying. Cavs 24-20 as your 7th seed, Heat 22-21 as your 8th seed, Bulls 20-22 as your 9th seed, Hawks 20-25 as your 10th seed, Bucks 18-24. So they're the first team out of the play-in. So I mean, that's more and more of a reason to make that trade. Hornets 16-27, Nets 12-29, Wizards 10-32, and the Pacers at 10-34. So the Pacers actually have been playing a little bit better basketball lately, which is kind of funny. Biggie, you want to do the West, and then we'll break that news that we got?
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna start in the West. Obviously, the OKC Thunder not missing a beat, playing just as good as they were last year, if not better. Looking to be the favorite once again. The San Antonio Spurs, 30-13. They look good as well. I mean, they're playing pretty good basketball. I know we kind of said it at the beginning of the season that they may be a dark horse, but they're playing beyond a dark horse right now. They look good.
Very good.
It's starting to play pretty good basketball right now. 6-4 in their last 10 games. They've been playing well. The Timberwolves, 27-16. They're also 6-4 in their last 10 as well. I mean, they've been playing pretty well as well. Houston Rockets, I think they're below expectations to say the least. Maybe expected a little.
Very high on them.
Yeah, I know you were. Yeah, I mean, I was too in a sense, but yeah, I don't know. It's just KD can't do everything. You know what I mean?
No,
they don't really do. They don't really have much. They need a true
They have good young players, but no one that's stepped up.
They need someone to step up. They need someone to step up, or they go get someone else that could play, like an older guy that could play. Yeah. The Lakers, they're the Lakers, 25-16. They've been playing pretty good basketball for the most part. Kind of what we expected, not the number 1 seed, but still playing pretty decent basketball. The Phoenix Suns, 26-17. I tell you what, they're 7-3 in their last 10. They've picked it up a little bit. They actually look like a decent basketball team, which we haven't seen in ever really from the Phoenix Suns, to be honest. The Golden State Warriors, they're kind of just they're a shell of their former selves anymore. It's a shame because Curry's still really good. It's just no one around them at all. They're a shell of their former selves. It's like Clemson in a sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's the same type of deal. The Portland Trailblazers, that's a big drop off. They were 25-9, and the Trailblazers are 22-22. Again, not much there. Just not.
They are playing better than their expectations, though.
They are, yeah, but there's just not anything there. There's nothing there in Portland for them. The Clippers, they're not very good. They are 8-2 in their last 10, though. So, but again, just not a great basketball team, to be honest with you. The Memphis Grizzlies, again, no expectations there. I think Ja Morant wants out as well.
He does.
So that's a big blow for them. Mavericks, again, trade Doncic, and look what happened. Pretty bad. Utah, the 14-29. Again, just a team that not expecting much out of. The Sacramento Kings, again, another team that just not too much expected out of them. 4-6 in their last 10. But again, just another team that's just not there. And then obviously the Pelicans, we know how they are. No explanation. 10-35 is not good. Not a good team.
Which I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They actually have good players on that team.
Yeah, I don't know. They're better. I'll tell you what. I think they have a better roster. No offense, EJ, than the Kings, than the Jazz, than the Mavs, than all the like for them to be last out of bottom 10. I think they've honestly probably have the most talent next to Memphis, to be honest with you. And it's just it's insane. And even the Clippers too. I know the Clippers are a little bit more, but I think the Pelicans, man, they should not be 10-35, especially in this group of bottom 10 like Sacramento, Utah, and Dallas. Come on, definitely not.
Yeah, and going back, I don't want to talk about the Knicks that much more, but they lost to the Mavericks yesterday and they lost to the Kings, which shows what state they're at right now, how they haven't been good. Yeah, the Clippers have been red hot. They're too good to not be in the conversation. They're going to be in the postseason. I think they can actually go on a little bit of a run if they make it. They sent Chris Paul home and they actually started winning games, which I was shocked by, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to the comment from before that Ego broke the news for us. But going back to football very briefly, but the Chargers are going to hire Mike McDaniel as their next offensive coordinator, with very good hire. He can run an offense. I don't think he could be a head coach, but I think him working with Herbert's going to do wonders for both. I think McDaniel will actually get another chance at being a head coach because he's going to be working with Justin Herbert. So I think that's a great back and forth. But I know I saw your face. You weren't too happy just because I know your Eagles were involved in that.
Yeah, I there's not many names left besides Brian Dable. I mean, honestly, like there's not much. It's getting thin now.
Kingsbury, how about Kingsbury?
Yeah, Kingsbury would be pretty good. I think he'd be good too. But man, I wanted McDaniel. Oh, him and Sirianni would have been great together.
They would have been. That would have been a good combo.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm pretty disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Mike McDaniel really bad. I was really pulling for him. But I tell you what. Look out for the Chargers offense. I don't know who said it. Hang on. Let's see. Look out. There it is right there. I agree. Look out is right. He's going to get the most out of Justin Herbert, I think, especially if that whole line comes back healthy.
If they can, yeah.
That team's going to be dangerous, I think. And yeah,
I think the scheme will open up a little bit. Yeah, he's not a head coach, but I think he will get another shot just because he's going to do good work with them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens back Canada.
Kevin Patullo's still worse.
I mean, you're not comparing gems right there to two bottom of the barrel coordinators.
Two rolls of toilet paper next to each other. And one has more doo-doo on it than the other.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to the Saleh to Tennessee, he loses probably his guy that he would go to, so that's going to be. I'm kind of rooting for Saleh, but I don't know whose offense coordinator is going to be. I hope he can figure that out and have good success, or else he's not going to be too long in Tennessee. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's do hockey, just a standings update very briefly, and then we kind of did how you doing already, but if we missed anything, we can get that.
Yeah, I mean,
pick them as
we've
well.
kind of gotten to how you doing, so I'll do what you did with the Knicks. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Flyers and these standings. So
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So you can, if you want, kick it off with the East, and then I will do the West.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so I'm gonna hop into the Eastern Conference here. Tampa Bay has claimed first in the Atlantic Division. They're playing pretty good right now. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10 games. So Tampa Bay's picked it up. They're playing well. 30-13. Detroit at second. They're still pretty good. They haven't really fallen off that much. 30-16-4 with 64 points. They're tied for points with Tampa Bay, but Detroit has more losses than they do. They've played 50 games. Tampa Bay's played 47. Montreal still pretty good. 27-15-7, 61 points. They kind of fell off a little bit. Not a ton though. Still, they're still 6-3-1 their last 10. Differential of 4. They're just still good. But Tampa Bay's differential, I didn't even say that, plus 46. How about that? Pretty
good for this. I mean, I know it's not early anymore, but still halfway through the year, just about.
Yeah, for a team that was like almost in last a few months ago.
Yeah, they turned it around pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then Boston in fourth, 28-19-2. Again, that's a team that is just. I feel like they're kind of in a rebuild in a sense. It's not a full rebuild like some teams are, but they are. They're in a little bit. The Bruins are going to be doing some moves. They're going to be trying to make some moves in the next couple of years, I think. I think it's a rebuilding team. Buffalo Sabres haven't really fallen off. I always say.
You kept saying that, but they're actually still in the mix.
They actually look kind of good. 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. 26-17-5. They have 57 points on the year. Tell you what, they're still playing pretty decent. I'm surprised. I'm happy because I'm a partial Sabres fan, but I like to see them do good. But yeah, wow, they haven't really fallen off much. Mm-hmm. Toronto again, still tanking in a sense, not playing their best. 24-17-8, 56 points
in the playoff mix though.
Still in the playoff mix though.
Yeah.
That's how tight the East is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Florida Panthers, just a ton of injuries there, obviously. 25, 20, and 3, 53 points on the year. That's just an injury thing. If they're fully healthy, they'd be a lot better. And then the Ottawa Senators, not much to say there. Besides Kachuk, I don't really know anybody. No one else really is a superstar there. But still, a winning record and being in last, that tells you something. I'm going to go to the Metro. Carolina's still on top. Fantastic hockey, a differential plus 28, 31, 15, and 4, 66 points. I mean, they're rolling right now, man. Carolina's rolling. They look really, really good. And then same with the Islanders. Haven't really missed a beat this year at all. They haven't even had a low point. 27, 17, and 5, 6, 3, and 1 their last 10. Tell you, man, Schaefer changed the entire culture of that team. Incredible. He's getting the most out of the veterans. He's playing great himself. It's good for the Islanders because they haven't been in this position in a long time. The Pittsburgh Penguins kind of picking it back up again. They're a team that, I mean, it's been an issue every year. It's injuries. Injuries kill them every year. 23-14 and 11 overtime losses, JD. My God.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. 6-2-2 in their last 10. Again, that's a team that just, deals with injuries quite a bit, but they're playing, for their old core, they look really good for having a really old core. Like, obviously Crosby and Malkin, they just look good. You know what I mean? They really do, and they have some pretty good prospects coming up as well. And then we did it. We won a game. We did it. 6-game losing streak has ended. Oh my God. Took them forever, but they did it. They beat Vegas last night 2-1. Bobby Brink is back. Dan Vladar is still not playing, unfortunately. Arison is still playing, unfortunately. Get out of town. I don't like you. Please leave. Never play hockey again. You're terrible. Please stop playing hockey. But yeah, Flyers were on a pretty bad losing streak. Sure you saw. It was pretty bad. Finally snapped it. Again, I'm going to continue to say it. People will tell me they have no shot at anything, but I'm telling you, man, it's a young core. First year on the team, head coach Rick Tocchet. Trevor Zegras is one of the best players in hockey right now. It's just crazy. I mean, it's a crazy dynamic because they obviously have the coach Tocchet there for his first year. Zegras is playing out of his mind. Michkos having kind of a down year, a slump. And then you have your core of guys like Bobby Brink and Noah Cates. And then, Bobby Brink was out for a little bit. Jamie Drysdale's been playing well. And then even Tyson Forrester, when he's been in, he was hurt for a little bit as well. But, I mean, they haven't fallen off. The only problem is it's just, I think, when you don't have Dan Vladar and you have to rely on Sam Harrison, you're not going to play your best hockey because you're giving up a bunch of goals. He's not very good. I want to pull up stats because, again, people will point to other things, but I think you really look at it in depth. It's the goalies. It's the goalies. That's the problem. Besides last night, I mean, Harrison's been awful. And then not Murashov. I keep getting him mixed up with the guy from Pittsburgh, like the prospect goalie, Kolozov. This is very similar. You know what I mean? Because Murashov's been fantastic for the Wilkes-Barre Grand Penguins. But, yeah. So, Sam Harrison, 20 games played. He's 7-8-4. His goals allowed is a solid 3.30. Oh, my goodness. His save percentage is a .860. Goals allowed 64. Shots. It's oh my God. It's bad.
You just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh at it.
It's rough, and he's a guy that plays 20 games. He's played. Vladar's only played 8 more games than him. I mean, come on. I don't understand it. Kolosov's only played 4 because he's been down with Lehigh Valley. He's 0-2. A 4.0, a 4 goals allowed percentage, and a save percentage of 8.30. Yeah, it's just Dan Vladar's he's good. That's just the nature of it. He's 16-7-4 overall. His goals allowed average of 2.46. Goals allowed is 67, but again, the save percentage is a .905. So, again, just he should be getting, like, him and Arison should not have an 8-game split. I know he's hurt, but they should not have an 8-game split. I'm sorry. They need to go out and get a goalie too. They need to get a solid goalie too. They don't have one because you obviously can't play Vladar every night, but him and him and Harrison should not have a 8-game split. That's just my opinion. I don't know how people feel about that, but I don't think he should have they should not have that minimal of a split in games. I mean, 7, 8, and 4, and I mean, I just don't get it. 7-year record. I don't know. Like, and again, nothing you could really do about it. But when you have a win differential of 9 and your games play, when your win differential is more than your games like split up, that's bad. That's a problem.
Definitely.
And that's been the reason for our struggles. And obviously injuries have not been our best friend. Injuries have been killing us. When the game fully falls on Trevor Zegras, obviously he's great, but you need your other supporting guys to play up to it. Yeah. Michkov needs to step up. He needs to start playing better. He needs to play like he did last year. He's disappointing this year. But yeah, so Washington 24-20. They kind of started off. I don't know if they had as big of expectations as they did last year. I mean, they kind of did for the season they had, but I don't know. I just feel like that team's kind of, I think Ovi's coming to the end, obviously coming to the end of his career. I think that team is at a point where they're going to be, kind of doing a little turnaround. Not a full rebuild, but you're going to see a little bit of a turnaround, like a whole new era of Washington Capitals, I think, coming soon. Mm-hmm. And then the New Jersey Devils, 25-22-2. Again, just fell off in a sense. Man, they just haven't looked great. 5-5 in their last 10 games. I don't know, man. They do it every year. The Devils, they have a lot
strong, and then
yeah, I mean, they have all the talent to do it, man, and they just don't. And then Columbus has they're above 500, 22-19-7. 5-4-1 in their last 10, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. And now the only team not with a winning record in the whole Eastern Conference is the New York Rangers. 21-23-6, 5-13-4 at home, a differential of 20, 2-6-2 in their last 10. Wow. The Rangers suck, to put it nicely. There's obviously been a couple injuries, and they're probably going to trade some guys away. And when JT Miller comes in as your captain after, being traded in from Vancouver, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, they're a mess. They're a mess.
Yeah, and the best part is they're like, oh, we're going to, not rebuild, retool. So we're going to trade guys. But yeah, half the roster is a no trade clause. So if they don't want to leave, they don't have to. So that's a nice obstacle to work with. I'm very, very, excited for that. Not really. I'm not excited. The Rangers aren't even, like listening to sports, talk shows and stuff like that in a New York like radio show or whatever the case may be. When the Rangers are good, they actually get more attention than the Knicks do on the radio, which is people probably wouldn't believe that, just because the Knicks are literally the basketball team of New York. But when the Rangers are playing really good hockey, they get the most attention, even though the Islanders are here. The Devils get, the New York. They talk about the Devils on the New York shows as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different dynamic than you have in the other sports. You have another team in the metro area. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I'm saying with that, the Rangers get a ton of attention when they're good, more than the Knicks do. And the Knicks are literally the only team that anyone roots for in New York, which is crazy. And the fact that they're this bad is just not good, man. I don't know what to even say.
I hate to say it, but that's how hockey is, man. If the team's not good, they're not going to talk about them, which is awful because, for me being as big of a hockey fan as I am, and, the sport growing more and more, it sucks to see that, the New York sports talk shows or the Philadelphia sports talk shows. I mean, Philly's a little different, but you look at all the other markets, they don't talk about their teams unless they're good. It's a shame.
Yeah. I'm shocked it's just that it's been this bad just because.
Yeah, the Islanders are taking over.
Yeah, for this year. Yeah, for this year at least. Yeah. Definitely. Let's do the West, and then we'll do I just want to touch upon actually one thing for how you're doing, and then if you want to talk about anything, we can do that as well.
I'm good on how you doing. I kind of talked about it all.
Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of just did it throughout the show today. It was kind of we winged it. We winged it today. But yeah, there was one thing I did miss, so I want to get to that. But let's do the Western Conference standings here. We've got the Avalanche at 34-5-8, so they're still single digits in the loss column. One regulation loss at home. Minnesota Wild 28-13-9 with 65 points, and then the Dallas Stars 27-13-9 with 63 points. So it's still that top three in the Central, kind of heavyweights up there, and then kind of the Avalanche, and then the Wild and Dallas are very close. Then we got the Mammoth 25-20-4 at 54 points. They're a little lower, but they are making up some ground. When you win 3 in a row and Dallas loses 3 in a row, that'll do it to you. Nashville Predators 23-21-4 at 50 points. Then we get the Blackhawks at 20-22-7 with 47 points. So they're under 500. St. Louis Blues 19-22-8 with 46 points. And then the Winnipeg Jets to round out that awful bottom of the division there, 19-23-6 with 44 points. Let's go to the Pacific, where we got the Vegas Golden Knights in first place, but Edmonton is coming for them. 24-12-12 with 60 points. Then we got Edmonton 25-17-8 with 58 points. They're only 2 games back. Vegas does have 2 games in hand, though. San Jose Sharks 25-20-3 with 53 points. The Anaheim Ducks 25-21-3 with 53 points. So them and San Jose are tied right there for third. Then we get the Kraken at 21-18-9 with 54 points. They have lost 4 in a row, though. Anaheim has actually won 4 in a row above the Kraken. Then we got the Kings, Los Angeles Kings, of course, 19-16-13 with 51 points. So they have also lost 4 in a row. So this division from San Jose down is just, kind of playing musical chairs, honestly. Every week we do this. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Edmonton and Vegas is up at the top, but these other teams can't. They don't even want. They're either too hot or they're too cold at this point. Calgary Flames 21-23-5, so they're not flaming at all. They have 47 points, and then Vancouver, worst team in the league right now, 16-28-5. So they trade Hughes away, and they've become the worst team in hockey with 37 points. And they've lost 11 in a row. And I actually saw that it's their longest losing streak in franchise history. So they're setting a lot of records, but for the wrong ways so far. So we'll see. But, yeah, they have – let's see. They have the worst differential as well, minus 51.
Yeah, they're just bad.
Crazy. Yeah, just not a good hockey team. Literally just not a good hockey team at all. Then I'll do my quick little how you doing part here. St. John's right now 13-5 on the year. Actually should be 14-5 in about 3 seconds. They'll be 7-1 in the Big East. So I know that I said the sky was falling about 2 weeks ago, but they went on a nice run after they lost to Providence. They've won a ton of games in a row, winning nice big wins, which is huge. And they're right now in second place behind UConn, who UConn is just incredible. They're number 2 in the country. I've lost 1 game all year, and I believe it was by 1 point. No, by 4 points. I'm sorry, but it was to Arizona, and they haven't lost since then. They haven't lost since the middle of November. St. John just on a nice streak as well, 7-1. Like I said, in the Big East, this will be their 5th win in a row. So they started out 2-0 in the Big East, lost 1 to Providence a couple of weeks back, and now they've won 5 straight. They've done it a number of different ways, but the offense is playing really well. Tonight, though, they played really good defense, which I was shocked by, because that's kind of the one thing they lack is the defensive identity, but they've done it. Good job for St. John's winning these bunch of games in a row, and hopefully they can continue to do that. I would love to see them on like a 9-game winning streak playing UConn at home in 2 weeks. That would be very, very fun to watch those two teams battle it out at their highest levels, which would be fun like it was last year. That would be, terrific. Then let's do our last bit. Here is the pick'em. So I'm at 29-23, and Biggie's at 24-28. So Biggie predicting the national champion correctly, has actually got him 3 wins, and it got me 3 losses since he had more, points in our little system we took care of there for that. So Biggie has gained 3 games on me from that. And then with the picks last week, I believe we both went 2-2. I think we had the same picks or something like that. I did it. Yeah. I did it before. I don't remember exactly, but I think we both went 2-2. So right now I am up 5 games on you. So it was much more a couple of weeks ago. So now Biggie has closed the gap. But this week we're going to do the AFC and NFC championship games. So first off, Patriots versus Broncos. I know I talked about this before. I'm going to go with the Patriots. Obviously, the safe pick. Everyone's going to do it just because Jarrett Stidham is playing a quarterback for the Broncos. But I would definitely not count out the Broncos. You got Sean Payton, Super Bowl winning coach. Great. He's just a great coach. He gets it done, as much as it pains me to say that. He actually does. I'm not a huge Sean Payton guy, but he's a very good coach. So he's involved in the game, obviously. I'm sure he's going to get Jarrett Stidham coached up. I don't know how much that's going to help, but it will help, I think, a little bit, just because it's a coach that actually knows they can put him in good situations. Broncos defense, has been there all year. They can force turnovers. They can hit the quarterback. Drake May is going to feel the pressure. It just depends what Drake May does with that. But I think just the overall aspect of Jarrett Stidham, who has not played since 2023, playing in this high caliber of a game. If Jarrett Stidham played 5 games before this one and they got to this point, I would say, okay, they have more of a chance than I think right now. I just think it's a little bit of an unknown factor in this. So that's why I'm going to go with the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Drake May, like we just said, hasn't played to his best this playoffs, at least. But you put in the fact that Jarrett Stidham's starting for the Broncos. No flack at him, but I just you can't go against the Patriots here. The Broncos win would be crazy, but
it would be.
It's just not going to happen.
Nice story too.
It'd be a great story, but it's not going to happen. I hate to admit it. Even with Bo Nix, that Broncos team looked good. I mean, they beat the Bills, but again, Josh Allen also turned the ball over quite a bit. The Bills turned the ball over way too much. So I was shocked by the Broncos winning, to be fair, but you take out the dynamic of Bo Nix, which I don't think is a crazy dynamic. We even talked about it at the beginning of the playoffs. But you even put that, it makes a difference. Don't get me wrong.
No, we're not saying he's special, but it does make a big difference that he's not.
Oh yeah, you're starting quarterback, of course.
He's played all year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Patriots. I think most people are now, unfortunately, for the Broncos. But yeah. Drake May. Play like Drake May. Drake May.
We got Drake May making the Super Bowl in his second year. And with the Patriots as well, I just wanted to add one point. The defense is underrated. Defense has played very well in the postseason.
Defense is fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But both of us are going with the Patriots. And then in the second game, we will this is going to be, I think we are all in for a treat again. Just the way these two teams played each other the first 2 times, I think it's going to be the same thing. I know the Seahawks and the 49ers played each other 3 times. The third time was last week, and it was much different than the first 2. I think this time with the Rams and the Seahawks will be just like the first 2 games. And I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are going to get it done. They're going to get to the Super Bowl again with the Stafford McVay duo. I think the fact that Devontae Adams has gotten 2 games under his belt now since being hurt will help them. I feel like that connection hasn't been there. I think Puka is going to be do just what he does, and I think that Sam Darnold is going to have a crucial turnover in the fourth quarter that's going to allow the Rams to win this game. I don't know if that's going to be leading to a touchdown. Something is going to happen where I'm taking Matt Stafford over Sam Darnold in this game, and when it's crunch time. Sam Darnold did beat him in the crunch time last time, but I believe this time Stafford will have that playoff experience take over, and he has not had a good postseason. This is going to be the game, the legacy game. When we look back a few years down the road, Stafford won his second Super Bowl with the Rams. What was his legacy game? It's going to be this one, and I know, Biggie, you don't agree with me.
Did you not see the Seahawks? Did we watch the same game Saturday?
We did watch the same game. They were
okay. I just wanted to make sure because what? Come on, bro. Are you kidding me? I mean, I understand, but I don't think I wouldn't bet against the Seahawks if you forced me to right now.
Okay. Listen.
I can't, man. You see how I know the 49ers are depleted. I get it. And I know Matt Stafford can turn on Devontae Adams, getting his groove back. I understand. But how could you not pick the Seahawks right now? I just don't get it.
It's the thing that everyone thinks is going to happen.
Okay, yeah, all right, fair. But again, there's a reason why. So give me the Seahawks, man. They looked so good on both sides of the ball. I think that's even a credit to that. Like, obviously, we talk about how great their offense is. Sam Darnold playing great, defying of what he did last year. You know what I mean? Like, took Minnesota all the way and then lost in the, the game that mattered. But he came out in that first game, the first round game, technically first game of the playoffs for the Seahawks. Yeah. Just lit up the 49ers, who were also depleted. But again, how could you bet against that power offense? I mean, it's unbelievable. I know, again, Sam Darnold choking coming. I understand the points. I get it. I understand, but I think this team is just too good right now. I know that what was it, Charbonnet, right? He's Charbonnet. Oh my God, Charbonnet. Yeah, he's hurt. But I just I don't think it plays that much of a factor into you lose the dynamic, but not as much as you'd think, as much as people can make it out to be. And then obviously Jackson Smith and Jigba. Unreal. Great.
Yeah.
Their special teams even look good.
They
look
did.
good all
They did.
facets. Like, that was the thing. Like,
That's a sneaky key in the game.
out of the 4 games on this weekend, I think the Seahawks looked the most complete. I think that every facet they looked good. They looked like a fully complete football team. Special teams, offense, defense, everything. Right? Yeah. I just, the Rams, Stafford, like this offense, the Rams have worried me these last 2 games. I just don't think, they haven't been able to get it done the last couple of years. And the Seahawks beat them last time they played each other this season. So, and again, Seahawks look like the most complete team right now. I didn't think they'd have the easiest path to the Super Bowl. I said the Bills did, and they lost the game. So, Seattle Seahawks, you're next. You're next up in my line of the easiest path to win the Super Bowl by default.
By default.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, they just looked like the most complete team last week. They just were so complete.
I totally
good at every asset of the game, and that
they
matters
did.
more than anything. And we always bring it up. The Rams special teams has been a problem.
I was just gonna say that the special teams is the biggest component in this game. If the Rams are able to escape anything, like a blocked field goal, a punt return, whatever, because last time when they played each other, Shaheed took over that game. Seahawks were down multiple possessions in the fourth quarter, and Shaheed took over, and that's kind of what led to the Rams losing that game. But if the Rams can tighten that up, which it's been better in the past few weeks, that's what I think. I think they're going to do just enough. It's going to be a great game, I'll tell you that. We can agree on that. We may not agree on the pick, but it will be a great game, and we will see what happens. But that's going to do it for episode 91. Biggie, any final thoughts we got here before we head off?
No, I don't got any. Just remember, as always, TJ Show, episode 4. We're already on episode 4, season 3 tomorrow, dude. We're back down the shore, and our everyone's favorite Popsy is back.
All right.
He's heading. Where's he heading tonight? That's the name of the episode. Where's Popsy heading tonight?
Where's he heading tonight? Okay,
that's the name of it. We're gonna find out what he's doing down the shore.
Where is he going tonight?
What Popsy gets up to down in Wildwood, and I don't know if my Nana, wants to know what he's doing. So, you have to watch to find out. Obviously, NFL playoff pick'em, our pick'em show. JD and I are involved in that. Obviously, new episode Friday. As always, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in for those. It's a great time for TJ Productions. We got two shows running at the same time. One's about to end next week, and then Pick'em obviously ends after the Super Bowl. So yeah, and then I got to figure out what to do. No high school football, no shows. What do I do besides obviously your show? I need to figure out what to do. Bloomsburg hockey is back though, middle of February. So
we'll have
a live game February 21st against Kutztown.
There we go. All right. So a lot of good things are coming up soon, but yeah, that'll do it, man. I just want to appreciate everyone for coming in. Comment section was on fire like they usually are. Not as chaotic as they were last week and the few weeks before that, but really good points that you guys are laying out there. And listen, when you guys make good points, we put you on. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night.